Conservatives just agreed the media would probably run the headline. That was about it. You can look at my Twitter and see what the response was. Someone said to me, then pray tell us, Tim, what should the headline have been? To which I responded, did I stutter?
It's a hard time to be a comedian. It's really tricky. It's tough. You gotta watch yourself. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because cancel culture and they're coming for you and you know, no one's got a sense of humor anymore. All that kind of stuff. And Ricky Gervais, you may have heard of him. He's the man, the multimillionaire, super successful comedian who also loves arguing with eggs on the internet. He just loves it. Nothing gets him off like yelling at eggs. I don't understand it. Like, just turn off notifications. It's really easy. You know, you're super famous. There's gonna be a lot of people are gonna at you.
From the New York Times amid an illiberal culture of bullying. We got more big news. Andrew Sullivan, a very prominent writer, is leaving New York Mag. And you know what? These stories are very important. But that's not what I'm leading with. I'm leading with Ricky Gervais, being ever so astute, saying, anyone mildly conservative on Twitter is labeled as Hitler. He said people are entrenched in their points of view, but it's not just that. He said, anybody who mildly left suddenly becomes Trotsky. Everything is being amplified to an extreme degree, and this is hyperpolarizing things. So when there's conversations about civil unrest, extreme violence, this is why. We are being polarized by this media, and there's a video that you should really watch from CGP Grey called, I believe it's called This Video Will Make You Angry, that explains what's happening. You have two different groups. You actually have way more than just two. But they start talking.
Wow. He's astute. He's astute, this one.
Talking about the other group in this group. So basically, the left all just complains about the right, and the right complains about the left. There's very little crossover ever. Now,
holy shit, this is meta. I just realized what we're doing here. Look at this. I mean, the ego death just occurred to me. I guess I'm achieving self-actualization in real time. Hey, everybody.
Now, the reality is conservative journalists do follow left-wing journalists. Trump supporters do follow the left and they argue with them, but it doesn't go the other way. The left tends to ignore the right. So while Ricky Gervais does bring up a good point about left and right, and I
mean, I assume he still hasn't seen this channel because A, I'm super small, and B, he'd know that that's the entire shtick. that's the whole. All I do is watch the right and make fun of them, and it's in part because it's a little bit cathartic, but ultimately I want to be able to disseminate these arguments and kind of break them down and maybe debunk them. I mean, there's like, if I can just be a little grandiose for a minute, it's because there's a deep sociological purpose behind this, and also I'm a petty child who can't get over laughing at the poo-poo. Pee-pee caca.
What happens to us good old centrists? I think a lot of people try to play this balancing act game where they're like, to be fair, you have the left and the right. And it's like, well, hold on. The right is paying attention. Not 100%, but I would say like many conservatives do follow left-wing journalists and left-wing personalities. The left certainly doesn't. And the left is actively trying to get conservatives banned. And the reason why I bring up Barry Weiss and Andrew Sullivan is because the left is trying to get them canceled too, I guess. Well, let's read this story and see what Ricky Gervais had to say.
So, just so everyone knows, Barry Weiss canceled herself. She did a self-cancel. It was the biggest rage quit on the internet. That's all that happened there. I'm gonna write this letter, get it signed by a whole bunch of people, and then afterwards I'm just gonna rage quit. Just throw the controller right outside of the window.
Say. Ricky Gervais called out the lack of online discourse and what he sees as the new fascists on social media. The often controversial comedian and creator of The Office appeared on talk radio for a recent interview about the show's 19th anniversary. During the discussion, the host asked Gervais if he thinks the beloved sitcom would have been made today, to which he noted that times have changed And there's a lot more to worry about when making comedy than there was 2 decades ago. There is this new weird sort of fascism of people thinking they know what you can say and what you can't say. And it's a really weird thing that there's this new trendy myth that the people who want free speech want it to say awful things all the time, which just isn't true, he explained. It protects everyone. Hear, hear. Ricky Gervais, good sir.
Ah, yes. This is the butterfly meme in real time, you know, where like it's flying away. Is this fascism?
He added, the 2 catastrophic problems of the term hate speech is 1, what constitutes hate speech? Everyone disagrees. There's no consensus on what hate speech is, 2. Who decides? And there's
I mean, I can't speak for America, but in Canada, there's actually very clearly defined laws. Like, it's very clear. Yeah.
real rub, because obviously the people who think they want to close down free speech because it's bad are the fascists. It's really weird. It's a really weird, mixed up idea that these people hide behind a shield of goodness. Later in the interview, Gervais said that it's often hard to please anyone on both the left and the right online because there's no discourse to be had with people entrenched in their respective points of view. I'm going to stop right there. I don't believe this is true. When I tweet something, okay, Donald Trump pardoned Roger Stone. What did I say? All of the major headlines tomorrow, quote, Trump is corrupt, commute sentence of close personal friend. Did the left make the assumption that I was calling Trump corrupt? No. They made the assumption that I was mad anybody would call him corrupt. Conservatives just agreed the media would probably run the headline. That was about it. You can look at my Twitter and see what the response was. Someone said to me, then pray tell us, Tim, what should the headline have been? To which I responded, did I stutter? The reason I pointed out, because they're saying...
So proud. Oh, wow. And then I came.
Well, we expect you to defend Roger Stone. I didn't do a segment on Roger Stone. At least I'm pretty sure I didn't. I don't know. I do so many segments, sometimes I forget. Yeah. No, I'm not here to play games about what Trump shouldn't or shouldn't be doing. A lot of conservatives defended Trump and over this action. I didn't do that. So they assume anything I say must be against them. It's the funniest thing. I've tweeted things that have flown in the face of certain conservative ideals, and I've been ratioed in the past. But the ratios I typically receive from the right on Twitter are like stern disagreement and often derision, but not the worst in the world. More like, you can't possibly be that dumb, Tim. Come on. Don't you know about X, Y, and Z? What do I get from the left? I get pictures of my family. I get threats. I get weird mockery and memes. No real arguments, just insults, nonsense. So I've found that no matter what I post, I could agree with the left. I could agree with the right. If I agree with the left on an issue, I made a post. I talked about systemic racism. What did I get? A conversation with conservatives. Wow. How difficult was that? Well, I actually disagree, Tim. I don't think systemic racism. Well, glad to hear your opinion. I respect it. Thank you. What does the left do? Ignore it. They ignore it.
Okay, so anecdote Andy here, obviously going off on all these stories. I can do the exact same thing. So for me personally, when I go after the right and I do a video on the right, I will usually get death threats. I'll usually get people telling me to kill myself. I usually get all kinds of horrible things. I'll usually get people trying to log into my accounts. I'll get people trying to hack me. And most importantly, I get people mass flagging my videos. Yeah, mass flagging the videos for things that I never did. Flagging them for scams, practices, hate speech, things like that. Because they're trying to silence me. They're trying to take me down. These are all anecdotes. Like, this is just my personal stories. This has been... That doesn't mean that this is a problem at large, unless we took a look at, like, the data and actually did an analysis of this, right?
But then they want... So this is what I bring this up. Because I'm not going to play this fake... Well, there are the left and there are the... No. Listen, man. It is substantially more likely, though not absolute, that if you tweet something, a conservative will argue with you. And it is true that if you in that same tweet, the left will attack you, insult you, deride you, screenshot you, post out of context memes and attempt to own you or one up you. It's just nonsense. Conservatives do it too, but it's a tendency. On the conservative side, you're more likely to get a real conversation. On the left side, you're more likely to get derision and attacks. Let's read. Social media amplifies everything. If you're mildly left-wing on Twitter, you're suddenly Trotsky. If you're mildly conservative, you're Hitler. And if you're centrist and you look at both arguments, you're a coward and they both hate you. And I bring him up because the intellectual dark web, right? It's very centrist and moderate people. They're
the politically homeless. I haven't heard that expression before. By the way, how sad is it that Tim Pool wants to be in the IDW, but they've never officially let him in? Like, he's never in those lists. You don't see him on the superhero pictures or anything. Like, he's constantly talks about, like, how he's one of them. Like, you know, me and the rest of the IDW, you know, we pal around. You've seen the photos. There, you can replace Dave Rubin. There. That looks almost accurate. That's not bad. That actually looks like he's sitting there. Sitting amongst them. That, for on-the-fly Photoshop? I don't know.
Abs thing. I know where I'm standing. And I disagree with Ricky on this one. I get the point he's trying to make, but no, let's be real. I think people are like, we need to unify and come together. So the left wants to hear you being critical of the right. I had somebody message me, Tim, I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop. Why won't you criticize the Republicans? I do. I've called them ineffective and do nothing politicians all the time. But for the most part, when you have Democrats engaging in overtly corrupt behavior, the impeachment fake nonsense, Ukraine fake nonsense, Russiagate fake nonsense, well, I'm going to be criticizing it. What are the Republicans doing? Saying...
Let's just take a quick little gander if we were at his channel. And then, I don't know, you tell me what you would think if you were just an outside observer and you went upon this. I mean, like, say you were an alien from outer space and you arrived here, and obviously one of the first things you want to do is take a look at Tim Pool's YouTube channel. Defunded police, backfired, activists beg for policing to return. Mail-in voting is backfiring on Democrats as voters get rejected. Trump just refused emergency requests to pay for leftist riot damage. Trump may be secretly winning and the Democrats are getting scared. More voter fraud exposed as the 2020 chaos begins. SCOTUS just gave back half of Oklahoma to Native Americans. Trump made ban TikTok app. Biden's call to transform America should worry you. New Trump Canyon conspiracy shows Democrats are losing their minds. Media attacking 4th of July proves Trump is right. No one will accept election results and then we all go insane. Trump dropped the hammer on far left extremists. Regular people rise up to resist the far left surge. Democrats have crossed the line in calling the 4th of July racist. That was all from a week ago. This is a week's worth. So... yeah, I wonder. I wonder if, I mean, if this is the new center. Wow, incredible. I understand now where we're ideologically aligned.
To our monarch, Thomas Bone, you are the light that guides our path. To our lords, I'm Raph, Stephen, Ninetails Cosmic Fox, and Hans Josephine. We bow meekly for your pleasure. To our knights of the Round Table, Josh Mickelson, Dylan Byth, Alexander Thaler, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, Todd Lajeunesse, Clement Schutzkopf, Sky Bear Games, Moss Beast, Political Puppy, Alan R., Andreas Chitoro, Good Poon Hates Cops, That's Solid Poon Then, we salute you. And to all our merchants and farmers, you have our undying loyalty and love.